Hey, Shalom, guys. Welcome to the final episode of the Ten Commandments series. Today, we're going to be looking at the 10th commandment. Now, this one comes from Exodus chapter 20, verse 17, which says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male slave, or his female slave, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor." Now, coveting means wanting what someone else has. Now, the Torah lists several examples of things that a person might covet: someone else's wife, house, field, servants, livestock, or anything that belongs to another person. The other nine commandments forbid specific behaviors, but the commandment against coveting forbids an inner attitude of the heart. Now, nevertheless, the other sins prohibited by the Ten Commandments all begin in the heart as well. Yeshua said, quote, "For out of the heart comes evil thoughts, murderers, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, and slanders. These are things which defile the man." Matthew 15:19 through 20. Covetousness lies at the root of a great deal of unhappiness and human suffering. Now, the trick to avoid coveting is to remember that God is the giver of all things. John 3:27 says, "A man can receive nothing unless it has been given from him to heaven." Now, we can be confident that God gives us what is best for us. The same God who makes one rich makes another man poor. The sages say that a really rich man is anyone who is content with what he has. Quote, "Be content with what you have, for he himself has said, I will never desert you, nor will I ever forsake you." Hebrews 13:5. Now, Paul warns us that greed and covetousness are inappropriate for believers. He says, quote, "Greed must not even be named among you as a proper among saints." Ephesians 5:3. And another place he says that greed amounts to idolatry. Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. Now, in chapters 4 through 6 of his epistle to the Corinthians, Clement, the disciple of Peter, presents a long dissertation on the dangers of covetousness and envy. He says that it was through envy that death itself entered into the world. 1 Clement 3:4. He also points out that envy spawned the first murder. As he says in 1 Clement chapter 4, verse 7, envy and jealousy led to the murder of a brother. He shows how covetousness and envy spawned the trouble between Jacob and Esau, between Joseph and his brothers, and between Moses and the Israelites. He attributes the incident with Miriam's leprosy to envy and the trouble with Korah, Dathan, and Abiram to envy. He ascribes Saul's persecution of David to envy. From his own generation, he points to the same problems as the root of the persecution of the apostles and his fellow believers. He concludes his dissertation on envy and covetousness as follows. Envy has alienated wives from their husbands and changed that saying of our father Abraham in Genesis 2:23, quote, "This is how bone of my bones and a flesh of my flesh. Envy and strife have overthrown great cities and rooted up mighty nations." 1 Clement chapter 6, verse 3 through 4. And that is the covetousness and the envy that is tied to that commandment that we should ourselves try to avoid. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Thank you for enjoying the series and watching it. Please like, share, and comment and tell me what you think. Shalom.